Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, July 1st. Welcome to July. We have a great 4th of July weekend coming up. I'm sure you guys are out there enjoying it already. I know I will be after I get off the air today. On the show today, speaking of that, we have Leif Loberg from Loberg Dental, and he's going to be talking to us about a conversation I had with him about 3D imaging of the teeth, how they're making amazing teeth replacements, doing amazing dental work and diagnostics with that new imagery and that new technology. So make sure you listen to that one. And then we're going to get an update about what's going on at Clubhouse One with Samantha Curlin, the very new recreation director over there. And she's going to tell us about Clubhouse One, what's going on in her role, and how she can make the experience there a lot more fun for everybody. Let's go to Stay Informed. This is an important one. This event is coming up on Thursday, July 6th at 2:30 at Clubhouse 7. No registration required. It is a part of a lecture series on optimal aging lecture series classes, and this one is going to be about driving preventative accidents, some of the common things that age-related accidents happen. So it's an important one to hear for those who are still out there driving and want to make sure they are safe on the road. That's going to be a great one. Make sure you get that one registered for that one. Our local weather. It's been pretty nice, and it's going to stay nice for the rest of the weekend, and really consistent temperatures all around. We have those morning clouds. We're going to see a little more so, a little less, depending on the day and what's going on. But morning clouds in the mornings, clearing to mostly sunny for the weekend, and we're going to have a great July 4th. If I look ahead, and I did, we're going to have a great July 4th as well. Our sunrise and sunset times, 5:44 and 8:05, and that looks like a really cool ocean sunset. It's one of those cathedral kind of dives out there in Hawaii. I've been on a really, really cool cave diving, so that's a fun experience. If anybody ever gets to do those kinds of things, I highly recommend it. Okay, when we come back, we're going to be talking to the folks from Loberg Dental Center. Stay with us.
Do you have cavities, broken or missing teeth, tooth pain, or other dental problems? These issues can create more problems than you think, including affecting your overall health. Don't wait until it's too late. Contact Loberg Dental today, and your first exam and set of x-rays is free without insurance. It's a great way for you to experience our high-quality level of patient care while saving money too. Visit drloberg.com to schedule your free exam and x-rays today.
Was looking for a dentist for my brother, which lived in the area, and I live in the Bay Area, and I found Dr. Loberg, and he did amazing work with my brother, so I knew when I moved back I was going to go straight to Dr. Loberg. The first time I went to Dr. Loberg's office, it was extremely inviting. Everyone's so friendly. I had bridge work done and veneers from a doctor in the Bay Area where I was, and they had to do reconstructive on the right side, so that side dropped a little bit, so it looked like too much of a drop for me, so I wanted to know if Dr. Loberg can fix it, and he did. So instead of the drop, he made it more straight, but he couldn't just do one side, he had to do the whole bottom and then everything. At the end of the day, the only thing that Dr. Loberg wants is for his patients to be completely happy. I love my smile. Everyone always says how beautiful my smile is. He made my smile amazing, actually perfect. That's it, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you, Dr. Loberg.
Longtime friend of This Day is here with us, Dr. Leif Loberg from Loberg Dental Center. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Let's talk a little bit. You've been a long time here, but also a lot longer at working here in Laguna Hills, rather. Tell us a little bit about your dental center, how you got started.
Sure. We basically finished up at New York University in the early 2000s, where I met my wife. She grew up in Orange County, Lake Forest, actually. So no better place to set up shop. She won the tug of war, so to speak. I grew up in Canada, so it was either go up to Canada and practice or make home in Orange County, and obviously that's where we've been for the last 22 years.
You looked at the almanac for weather in February in Canada, and you said, you know, I could use a change,
Right.
maybe.
We traded the snow shovel in for the broom, so to speak.
That's not a bad trade. It's not a bad deal. So tell us about the center. When did you open up down there? And it's a full service family?
Yes, so we've had our Lowbrook Dental Center open now officially since 2006 in our newest location, which is the old Laguna Hills Courthouse, right near Crossline Church. We've been in there for 7 years now, so it's been a blessing. State-of-the-art facility. We're able to offer all procedures under one roof, and really are able to serve the Laguna Woods community to its full capacity.
Now, dentistry has come a long way since you got out of school, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of that too, but it's amazing the advances in just like one lifetime or one generation that have happened in dentistry with AI, 3D printing, and all that kind of stuff. So tell us a little bit about like the 3D imaging you're doing now, which is kind of revolutionary.
Right, so you talk about the life changes, and I mean, when we graduated, the iPhone hadn't even been invented.
Right.
And so did 3D imaging. So 3D imaging, those were $1 and $2 million, pieces of equipment that were only found typically in a hospital. And so I was lucky enough to train under those giant, enormous, robotic systems. And now that whole technology has been able to be reduced in a footprint in size. And so we actually have a 3D imaging unit in our office, and the advances in that department are phenomenal.
Kind of like the original cell phone to the iPhone, like you just mentioned, right? There's the compression of that technology. But so, what advantages does 3D imaging kind of bring to the table for dentistry?
So that's a great question. I think the number one the number one advantage, so to speak, with 3D imaging is in the diagnosis. So you get a chance to see comprehensively from joints to bone structure to the teeth and the relationship of the jaws to each other.
Okay. Was it kind of guesswork before that, or was it like, well, we think this is going on underneath here, or you look at an X-ray and you're hoping to figure it out?
Right. It was kind of an archaic. With all due respect, testing for, different types of pathology and so forth. But now with a 3D image, you really can see the relationship of teeth to pathology like abscesses, root canal fractures, to the bone.
So somebody comes in and says, I got this pain here, and it takes that kind of the guesswork out of it. And it wasn't rudimentary before. You had great advances in dentistry, but this is kind of sounds like a major leap ahead.
Massive.
Yeah.
It really is a massive leap, and it's a huge tool in the armamentarium of our diagnosis. From the standpoint of being able to make a definitive diagnosis on a tooth or a system.
Now, is this something that insurance is now saying, yes, we're going to cover this, this is the wave of the future, this is the new standard, or is that something that's still kind of bouncing around?
So the whole process of 3D imaging is now really moving to the standard of care. And so practitioners and general practices, specialty practices that utilize the technology, are definitely supported by the insurance companies.
Right.
Just because it's really a comprehensive diagnostic tool that we now have, and when it's readily available, insurance companies obviously are going to jump on the bandwagon to say, hey, this is in the best interest of the patient.
Okay, great. When you're doing it, are you getting stills, are you doing video, or what are you seeing, and how are you able to manipulate and look everywhere?
So a 3D scan from a bone imaging perspective allows us to give both a video perspective through as we move the slide vectors through the bone and through the teeth. So you can really visualize things like fractures, things like pulpal pathology, root fractures, and of course all of the periodontal issues that go along with root pathology. So it's super awesome.
Are you using it also as preventative? Let's say there's microfractures that you never would have been able to detect before. Can you look in there and say, oh, look, this might be a problem in the future. Let's take some steps now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we're able to actually zoom down on a microscopic level and say, hey, this is a pathological fracture and this is the culprit. And it's essentially a 100% definitive diagnostic tool. What I also like too is the visualization of other systems. So for example, sinus pathology. You can visualize polyps, you can visualize sinusitis, and a number of other conditions.
Right, so it goes far beyond just dental work and the imagery that we're seeing in the whole medical field.
Correct.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you bring a patient in, when do you say to yourself, oh, we're just doing x-rays today, or hey, this is a 3D? What would be the criteria for me to come in and say, Michael, you look like you need some 3D imaging?
So we have a lot of patients that come in and they say, you know, doc, I need some help. I haven't been in 5 years, 10 years,
Okay.
20 years. And so at that point, you assess the situation, and to bring everyone up to speed, you can look and you can say, hey, let's take a 3D image and make a plan for you and go from there. One of the forefronts that we use the technology for is in the implant world, called All on 4 or All on X, or Teeth in a Day as it's known.
Okay.
Where you can image the system, the teeth, and make a diagnosis whether all the teeth have to be removed and implanted.
And tell me a little bit about smile design versus impressions and what we're doing there.
Sure. So one of the beautiful things now is with scanning technology that we have, where you can take a patient preoperatively, scan them with a digital scanner, and create a virtual model without the patient being in the chair. Once you have a virtual model, you can then design a perfect smile and kind of work backwards.
Okay.
Doing the preparations and again digitally imaging.
So here's what we need to do, A, B, and C, to get you to where we want you to be, kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay. Let's take a look at a video.
The decision to fix my smile was a pretty tough decision, a long decision. It had gotten to the point at work where I wasn't smiling as much and I wasn't engaging with clients or the people that I worked with. And so the idea about replacing the teeth came quickly after I got comfortable with the idea. When the work was done, I was able to interact with my friends, my family in such a new way that I questioned why I didn't make that decision sooner. It was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself.
Wow, that was really interesting. And is that more on the cosmetic side? It sounds like, or people coming in with maybe some damage or some challenges, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I mean,
Okay.
we see lots of folks that have fallen, that have fractured their teeth. As you know, in the elderly population, balance is an issue, and so falls are more common than we'd like to think. So there's damage. There's also the cosmetic improvement of just worn dentition. As we get
Right.
older, our teeth wear down.
Right, and like smile and bite and things like that kind of change over the years as you wear those things down, right? So that can also help in that area too?
Correct. It's really at the forefront.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Dr. Loberg, thank you very much for coming in. Very informative, very interesting stuff going on there. And I'll remember to smile and brush and floss and do my preventative stuff as well.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thanks a lot. When we come back on this day, we're going to be getting some summer fun out there, get a recreation update from the Village Recreation Department. Stay with us.
I've always been afraid of dentists. I think that's why my teeth were so bad. When I first met Dr. Loberg, he introduced himself. He was real friendly and very sincere. You can tell the sincereness in his voice and the way he talked to you and the way he explained things to you. And if you had any questions, he was just more than happy to answer them. To be able to eat again and not have pain is just something that is a very good experience. I've never experienced that before. Since I was 21, I've had bad teeth and always something wrong, always. And I just dealt with the pain, and I just got to where I was done with the pain. And I couldn't even eat a hamburger anymore. I mean, I was lucky to bite into a banana without my teeth falling out. And this man changed my life. I went in to see what was going to happen, why I was having the pain I was in, and it was just, my mouth was just really bad. So he told me what he had to do, and it just gave me a full implant, lower and upper, and everything just went along so smooth. I was never in a bunch of pain. If I needed them, I could call them. Benefits, I have beautiful teeth now. I feel I'm really more self-confident, and I can smile and be happy and know that I look good. I want to thank you, Dr. Loberg, from the bottom of my heart. You'll never know how I feel toward you for doing this for me.
How do you comfort a family who's experienced a loss? At O'Connor Mortuary, we start by welcoming them into our space, where families of all faiths and cultures belong. We allow them the time to process their grief, providing guidance when it's needed and listening intently when it's not. We gather the values, the stories, the relationships, and the dreams together and use them to shape the memory of their loved one into a beautiful experience they'll cherish forever. When your family is in need of true comfort, call O'Connor Mortuary.
Well, Clubhouse One is the biggest and best. That's what our next guest is going to tell us. She's Samantha Curlin. She's the new recreation supervisor at Clubhouse One. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's your debut. You've only been here a few weeks, so you're getting the lay of the land.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? What do you hope to do here?
Oh, wow. So I actually have a degree in recreation, so I'm very passionate about that. Some of my favorite recreational activities would probably be hiking and camping. Really big outdoorsman. I think that that's probably where I have the biggest sense of self, the outdoors. In terms of what I plan on doing here is just connecting with the community and connecting them to recreational resources and essentially enhancing their quality of life through recreation.
Now, honestly, I've never heard of a degree in recreation.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? Is it a lot of kind of deep dives into like camping, survival, or locations, maps?
So it depends. That was in my realm. My particular was natural resource management in the Department of Recreation, Hospitality, and Parks.
Okay, I see. I understand.
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yes. So you seem to be like you're probably very well suited to help things over at Clubhouse One.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in terms of like things you're looking at now and like the activities that are coming up?
So amenities that we offer at Clubhouse One, there's a plethora, a ton. Obviously, you said we're the biggest and the best. We have 6 reservable rooms, so I think that is a really big starting point for clubs to come and kind of have a stable point to meet weekly, monthly, yearly, however they decide to do that. With that being said, I also think that we offer the drop-in amenities. So we have like a drop-in lounge that serves coffee Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I think that's a really big point for residents to come and essentially kind of have their social hour, meet up with people before their club, after their club or their event, etc. So I think that makes it really special. And is that a good
touch point for you guys to say, like, have flyers in there, have people come in and say, hey guys, have you heard about this? Is that kind of a great way to kind of get that
absolutely
going?
To make those connections between staff and residents, absolutely.
And what are some of the important ways you guys want to use, like maybe outreach or kind of get people even more involved?
Oh, well, you know, my office is right there in the clubhouse. So, you know, we get a lot of residents and people of the community coming in and just chatting. And I think that that's one of the best ways to kind of get a personal touch of what's going on at the clubhouse.
And what would you say your role you feel like it is? It enhance kind of the community members' lives, or is it what do you see as your role and the clubhouse's role in all of this?
So I would say that my role and the clubhouse's role is that enhancement. I believe that my quality of life is, top tier because I recreate, because I have things that are important to me in the recreation field, right? So when you have, for example, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have a qigong that goes out on the patio. It's 80 to 100 residents, right? So people look forward to that. That is their routine. That is part of their quality of life. They go, they get their coffee, they do their class, and then after they have their social hour, they sit in the sun. I mean, those type of little connections and stuff can make or break somebody's essentially day, week, month, life, It's those things that you look forward to and can connect with.
Yeah, and you guys also have the koi pond out there, which is kind of really nice, kind of like a serenity area kind of thing for that too.
I think I love the koi pond the most.
Are you a
yes,
fan?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now what is like trying to maintain? I don't know how much. I know you've only been here 2 weeks, but what is it to maintain a koi pond, and especially in this kind of climate and outdoors like it is?
Yeah, so I'm actually only in charge of a very small portion of that. I get to feed the fish.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
that's
so,
a bonus.
We have an outside entity that comes in and actually maintains it. So it's always in beautiful working order, and just sitting beside it, listening to the water trickle, seeing the fish, looking at the plants. It's really serene.
I've had a chance to really kind of go through the building and just kind of maybe appreciate the architecture, the kind of charm of it. It's an older building.
Yes, so obviously it is one of the oldest buildings in the community. With that being said, I think that it has a lot of character and charm to it. The beautiful Spanish style, the lights, the wrought iron, the tile, the color, it's really beautiful. And that older building is just something that you don't see very often now. Everything's very modern, so it's kind of like being transported back in time.
So what adjustments do you make when you come into a community that is older, it's maybe a little more sedentary? So do you focus on activities that is more inclusive in that area, like billiards and koi pond and kind of meeting places? Is that kind of one of the adjustments you have to make? Because you're a hiker, biker, mountain climber. We're not going to climb Mount Whitney anytime soon.
Right. So what I like to say about that is essentially each person's realm of recreation is going to be different. So what I find fulfilling for me and ability-wise is going to be different than the next person, right? So essentially connecting with those residents and seeing what kind of activities essentially suit them is the way that you do that. So we have the billiards room. So maybe people want to come in and shoot pool. We've got a game room. They want to come in and play cards, and then it really just depends on who you are and kind of what you want to do. And we have those available, multiple different activities.
And in terms of those reservable rooms like you touched on, what are the things that people say, okay, I want to have an event here, I want to do something. What are some of the activities that go on in those reservable areas?
So a lot of clubs meet at our facility, and then there's also like weddings and parties, birthday parties, family get-togethers, all those different things. So there's really no limit on what essentially you can celebrate there. It's really just situational on what you're looking to celebrate.
And what do you hope, for yourself? Anytime you come into a new job, you say, here's what I think I'd like to see if I can do. Let me get my feet on the ground for a minute, but let me see what I can do. What do you hope to kind of bring to the table that maybe you could enhance or hasn't been done at all? Do you have any ideas?
To be honest, I would just like to leave a legacy here. I would like to leave a legacy for my kindness and compassion and my passion for recreation. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do, to make those connections and communicate thoroughly with what people want to see, what they want to do, and hopefully be able to move them forward with that.
Okay. And one of the things you can do to get to know Samantha is bring your dog by, right?
Yes, please bring your dogs. I love dogs, and there's been many residents that have come by weekly so far. So I've got like 4 or 5 in my rotation, but if you want to bring more, I'm more than happy to give some pets.
It's a good hire when they love dogs.
Yes.
I love dogs. We've adopted dogs and rescued dogs for years.
Absolutely.
And it's a wonderful experience. Samantha, thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely, thank
New
you for
Recreation
having me.
Supervisor for Clubhouse One. Thanks a lot.
Of course, thank you.
When we come back, we're gonna see Cole, and Cole Young's gonna be with us with the Sports Corner. Stay with us.
you want the government to take control of your assets and your legacy, or do you want to take control? Ellis Carlson Law is well positioned because we have a team of estate planning attorneys. You call us, we sit down with you, and we will define what is the customized estate plan that properly protects your legacy.
I'd like to personally thank L.S. Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Welcome back to This Day. Let's talk about our Saturday movie, and it's a great one for this weekend for folks going out to the beach, enjoying the surf and the sun. It's Endless Summer from 1966. This one's a classic. This is a really amazing. It kind of follows these globe-trotting friends as they go around the world looking for the perfect wave, and they do find it eventually, and it's a really kind of great epic moment at the end there. And this one got a lot of kids in the 60s excited about surfing and really kind of brought up this whole generation of surfers looking for these wonderful waves and into the world we have today in surfing. So that's a fun one. Make sure you watch that one. It's at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. So make sure you get out there and see that one. Let's take a look at some of our announcements that we have. We have the Ice Cream Soda Float Social coming up. That should be fun, right? It's free, but you do need to RSVP on that one. Make sure you call Jessica at the phone number at the screen there, and it should be a great one. It's going to be July 12th, 2 to 3 p.m. at Clubhouse 7. Again, it's free, but you do need to make sure that you RSVP because space is limited. And I want to talk to you about a scheduling change that we have on the programming. The Old Pros, that's usually, it's going to be on Sunday evenings starting today in July at 7 p.m. The Old Pros is moving its time slot starting July, and want to make sure you guys know about that one. Their show is going to be on at 7 p.m. and now on Village Television. And of course, July 4th, that's coming up, right? We want to make sure and have some fun. We've got lots of fun stuff going on in the village. Two things I want to tell you about. The golf cart parade, which is fantastic, always fun. Look at those decorated golf carts. It's a blast. The kids, grandkids, everybody loves these, and people really go all out decorating those golf carts, so that should be fun. The golf cart parade is going on from 11 to 11:45. Make sure you're there. Both events are free of charge. The other one is Stone Soul at the Clubhouse, Clubhouse 2. That's going to go on from noon till 2 p.m. Make sure you get out there and have some fun. They're going to be serving ice cream and some food for purchase until 2 p.m. over at the concert as well. So that's going to be great. Let's take a look at our weather one more time before we leave you on this day. It's going to be nice. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny. You're going to enjoy it. Don't believe those clouds. Trust me, the sun's going to be peeling off, and you are going to have some great sunshine days for many days in a row here. 79, 82, and 79 for our weather. 4th of July, looking ahead, that's going to be great too. We're going to have some morning clouds along the coast mostly, and it's going to be peeling back to warm, great days. Great holiday weekend. I hope you get out there and enjoy it, and I know we will be here as well. So thank you very much for watching This Day. You can watch us at 9 a.m., 12:30, and 5 p.m. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.